Hello, everybody. Come on in. It's nice to have you all here today, Wednesday, August 31st, for the latest Brooklyn Rail Wednesday reading. This reading is called Only What's Here Already, a rail reading curated by Vyt Bakaitis. And this reading will feature readings by Vyt, Joe Elliott, and Jeffrey C. Wright. William Benton was going to join us, but he is on his way to Santa Fe, and that's good enough. So Vyt may read some selections from his work. We're trying a new naming method where we're going to have a different name for the reading every week. And it's important that you know that and not think about it at all. And before we get things going, I just want to say, check out the chat as you're going along. If you haven't been to one of these readings before, there'll be information about the readers, links to their various works and endeavors, and also information about the rail and what we're up to. And feel free to quote lines and comment and cheer and so forth. My name's Anselm. I'm the poetry editor for the Brooklyn Rail, and I help organize these readings with our incredible staff. And the September issue, even though it's not quite September, has just come out, and there's a pretty terrific poetry section in there, if I'm allowed to say that. So check it out as you can. I'm really happy and grateful to have Vyt Bakaitis here today to read and to organize and to host and organize the series. Not the series, today's reading. Vyt Bakaitis is an American poet, translator, and editor born in Lithuania and living in Brooklyn. His first collection of poetry, City Country, 1991, was followed by Deliberate Proof, published in 2010. Refuge and Occasion was published by Station Hill just earlier this year. He is considered the major translator of modern Lithuanian poetry, represented in the 20th century anthology Breathing Free from 2001. 3 additional volumes he translated from the Lithuanian are by contemporary poets Jonas Mekas and Julius Kelleros. He added 2 volumes for rail editions, Words Apart, a set of poems by Jonas Mekas, translated by Vyt into English, and Message Ahead, essays on the poetry of Jonas. Please welcome Vyt Bakaitis to the rail.
Greetings and welcome all. I'd like to start with a brief poem, a version of which I made from the German, Late Night short lyric by Goethe. And now it escapes my mind. All right, I'll skip that part and instead go to introducing the non-present William Benton. And here's the note he gave me to share with you. William Benton was a jazz piano player before becoming a writer. He has published 8 books of poetry and a novel called Madly, as well as books on art. He lives in New York City. His highest and best ambition as a writer, some kind of an inner and outer grace. Madly, the novel, is his favorite of the books he's written, or Backlit, the collection of poems. Maybe Backlit, he says. So I loved it. This is a poem of his called Autres Poems and Sonnets It's from his book called Marmalade, which is itself is a pun on Mallarmé. So he sort of goofs around with various verses of Mallarmé. I loved it when the whole night was found out and was openly on fire. He's dear, torch songs and smoke from immortal cigarettes. Who lives inside an ancient bedroom unwarmed, even if he comes in from the corridor with another fallen blonde. And this one is from his Irina poems. That was the person who was the character for his novel Madly, even though that's not her real name. The poem is called The Mad Girl. She steps into the flame, black eyes wide open. Everything proceeds from a single likeness, wave of momentary error, secrets, witnesses, Russia with all its salt, butter of metaphors spread over the cuts. Her head hurts, the details of despair, old as a beard, ask beyond themselves to be extended, impelled to move again through the indigo shadows of snow, bells tinkling. All right, now we'll go on to Joe Elliott, who in his note to me says, number one, I thought I was going to be an engineer and then for a while an actor. I started writing poetry because all it required was a pencil. Number two, I would like to write a book of poetry that is as engaging, inventive, and moving as the Beatles' Revolver. Number three, Whitman's Song of Myself, because it is a blueprint for living and for being a poet. The rest of us are just filling in and inhabiting the spaces that he suggests. Here for us now is Joe Elliott.
Thanks, Pete. Okay, I'm going to start by reading. Well, first of all, everyone can hear me okay? Thank you. I'm going to start by reading. Last year, I kept a diary of work at the high school I'm at all year. So I wrote like 5 or 6 haikus every day. So I'm just going to give you a selection. October, 1 month in. Now no shows are clear. Air, but not yet leaves turn. People move time cards. They have haircuts and wear clothes, get in cars and go. Sadie and Maud, does every poet stop living when they start writing? Either Stan Smiths or Air Jordans or Chucks or Crocs, but never read Keds. In middle of share, ambulance blare, students too can't get through traffic. Surprised while grading to find genius in class, back corner by window. When they read their work aloud, their differences scream, mouths shut, all alike. I didn't do it yesterday, now I didn't do it today too. Hiding in stairwell from security, chip bag tilted into mouth. Boy leans over girl by lockers A band, B band, D, E, and G band. Those are the periods at my school. They're called bands. Left on hallway floor, candy wrapper, soda can, gum, popcorn, condom. What if the World War headphones that didn't have to listen to you? Seniors need to sell chocolate to pay for prom, class trip, cap and gown. By the time the new policies reach these students, they're already old. I'm here for you as soon as I'm done with calls, grades, prep, updates, inputs. Online testing done. Now they can get on other data collectors. Masks off, mouths look strange, little rubbery creatures nibbling M&Ms. One pod in ear of student A, other pod in ear of student B. Logan's bell bottoms, patched, frayed, safety pin distress, we're choosing to wear. Social emotional, the new frontier, sanity grab, assessment rush. We make rope, tie knot, set up platform. Then they say, step up, insert neck. After lunch, I nap, if I'm in the right country. I'm not, so I don't. In the mailroom, 9 paras waiting for the hand on the clock to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Urinals. Which one should I use? By 10th conference, having figured out my shtick, I'm performing it. Everybody leaves except the mice, cockroaches, and a few teachers. While locking up bikes, 2 teachers complain. It's so uncontractual. 2 IntelliPures per room hum reassurance. By law, they have to. Frederick Douglass points out how contentment kills. Who needs the police? So if you like that, there's only about 1,600 more. All right, the dream. The dream is in the roof line, more specifically the cedar shingles, the dormers, and overhanging eaves. There is something about being visibly right under the roof, the rafters right there, looking out an attic window on a clear October day that always seals the deal, makes you reach into your pocket for cash, gives you something to do that is outside your body, because inside your body is not a place you want to go, because you are a good citizen, because you do not want to be standing in the rain somewhere thinking about something. You do not want to be caught in the snow staring across some blurry field, your smoke signal breath drifting and swirling in front of your eyes, because as soon as it is inhabitable, as soon as it has a roof over its head, as soon as its head becomes your head and its lines start to define the sky, that is when you start to pay taxes. Hitching a quick. What they do not tell you in the story of the enormous thumb is how they had to hit that thumb with a hammer every morning and renew that throbbing pain, that habitual suffering, so that the thumb would grow in size enough to be able to lord it over their entire family, that the enormity of the sore thumb stuck out, distracting the audience from noticing the character to whom this enormous thumb was actually attached. And that the enormous thumb is there to oppose, and is also a good thing to do to the nose of someone under whose thumb one might be trying to get out from. And of course, extended out, a thumb is good for hitching a quick ride out of this town. I'm not that good with names. I guess it's not going to be easy to write a poem, even though these untagged faces keep coming through the door, declaring themselves home. I don't know a single one of them. I open the fridge and they gravitate like a congregate shadow toward the light spilling out. We need that fridge to put our dead animals in. We need to put our dead animals in our half-alive bodies and howl. Metabolism doesn't have a name. Respiration doesn't have a name. Teeth and tongue don't have names, yet they make their homes everywhere. All right. I got a few more. My poem's feet hurt, especially the right one. A big corn on its little toes starts acting up every time it's in any sort of shoe for more than an hour. Plus, the big toe knuckle is swollen and angry from a decade-old injury that's turned arthritic, so it kills to push. Plus, the arches on both feet have been falling for some time, so that by the end of the day, my poem can hardly walk. It just shuffles from room to room, takes one step at a time or down the stairs. It's in way too much pain to think about anything deep, to bother saying something about climate collapse or systemic racism or the cataclysmic separation of subject from object or the ebbing of democracy, or to make itself vulnerable by opening up about some personal issue or loss. No, it just wants to grab someone, whoever's walking by, and complain. I love that one. That's ridiculous. Okay. Anyways, it doesn't matter what I think. This poem is about an experience many have speculated at length about, but neither they nor you nor I have actually had. And so, since none of us know what this poem is talking about, for now it is as if it is nothing, and continues to be as if it is nothing, and merrily keeps on going as if it is nothing, and jauntily persists as if it is nothing, and with the lightest of hearts proceeds as if it is nothing, and with real eagerness carries on as if it is nothing, and with unconditional love and gratitude marches forward as if it is nothing, and starts to see the crest of the hill as if it is nothing. So be not afraid, it is nothing. All right, that's here's two more. August 4th. The pine and spruce corkscrews straight up into the sky, the sight lines thick with green, muffling the lazy drone of the occasional passing car. Somewhere a dog barks, crows are croaking to each other, and a red squirrel scampers down a railing. It's cool now, but it's going to get hot, and people will wake up and walk down to the beach and dip themselves in the lake to cool. Soon enough, the earth will wake and yawn and let out an icy sigh from deep within, and the leaves will fall away like unnecessary costuming, and the bride will return, empty and white, and it is then we will be able to see into things again, and in seeing live. All right, this one is for Martha and Baz, because they mentioned the topic of this poem in their email to me. It's December. The leaves have fallen. The garden is devastated and stubbly. What birds are left are roosting in empty trees, and Anne's 50 or so spotted begonias all started from a single cutting my sister sent us from that enormous spotted begonia she keeps in her kitchen, which itself had been started from a cutting from my mother's, which grew in a brass pot in the piano room, which in turn had been started, or so the story goes, from a cutting from her mother's, my grandmother's, Mimi's, ancient spotted begonia that had taken up a corner in the sunroom in Farmington, have all taken shelter in our basement, where they crowd my tarp-covered childhood kitchen table under lights, waiting for spring. My mother has been safely underground for 5 years, and my grandmother for 55. and Anne's fantastic progeny, which are something to look at and consider in the quiet mornings when I sit in our half-finished bathroom amid the hot water heater, old boiler, and washer dryer for the last 3 weeks. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you, Joe Elliott. And now we go to Jeffrey Cyphers Wright, a lyric poet and author, as he put it to me here, of 18 books of verse, including Blue Liar and Party Everywhere. Recent poems are in the Cafe Review, Strato Rec, and Best American Writing. I write, he says, from a sense of duty for a sense of purpose, looking for truth in beauty's frame. The Court of Venus by Sir Thomas Wyatt. Wyatt brought the sonnet to England and codified the romantic persona, of which truly Jeffrey is one. Here you go.
Vyt, my brother, thank you, man. I must say that when I moved to New York and Ted Bergen told us all to start magazines, I thought, man, there's a lot of magazines. I'll start some postcard poetry. And Vyt was in the first run. And I'm always like proud to have you right there with me from the beginnings. Not that it was your beginning, because you got here via submarine from Lithuania. So anyway, Vyt, I appreciate it, and it's great. I'm really looking forward to hearing you. I've nicknamed you the Sublimist. And I'm going to start with these poems that they're called cordials. They're little haiku, actually. And they have an epigraph here by Gerald Stern. I howl for mercy. Cordials. A dragonfly says hi, hunting the sky for clues, hiding inside blue. The sea takes its cue and laps. A green flag barely lifts. My breath escapes. All day listening, the waves with nowhere to go absorb silence's roar. You made it out past the breakers and float. We hold each other in sight. The sun scatters white coins along the curling crest, buying words from time. I like to love this last day of August. August has sort of become like a vacation mentality, and I'll come back to that at the end, but this is the auteur's progress. So these are like film titles, sort of. The auteur's progress. The cuckoo's testimony, the cobbler's soul, the haberdasher's headache, the bell's endless toil, the witness's falsies, the trunk full of peanuts, the secretary of amnesia, the crabby fiddler, salt's white murmur, Charlotte's webinar, turning into Saturn, roasted blue inside. You are the one I find, lost in a desert of light. Required fields. Clouds shuck the sky, leaving pearl. A Chinese woman walks a Welsh dog. I am a swan, and you are becoming a ladder made of wands. We believe in the pirates of penance. Detectives search for a missing address. Friends attend a random protest. Some of us bet on long shots, charting a course of emptiness. Our shoes wear out, chasing a dream. Once our eyes burned, torturing light. Remember how we begged for answers? Now catastrophes are nothing new. Gratitude never ends. Other things do. Lightning's quiver. And I'm going to skip that one. I have too many. Paradise answering service. November draws its purse strings tight. A pack of clouds eats the hungry moon. An old lamp blinks its wiring shot. Between useless and euphoria, I sleuth for meaning, meandering from Chelsea to the river, listening to the shivers, to Robert Kelly lifting scripture off a mirror, windmill attack mode, milling around in my grab bag of jeans. At the end, the language we suspend will shepherd us past midnight's derrick, leaning on eternity like a vagrant. Oh, I'll still pay for the foolish love I spent when you were on top of my to-do list. And I wanted to give a plug to Live Mag and Lori Ortiz, who helps me with it all the time. And I was going to read, and some of you I've been lucky enough to have in there. And this poem is called Ghost Powder. A few clouds scallop the sky like pale fish over the river. The carousel on Pier 25 closes for the season. I waste my days courting puppets and chasing women. October turns out its empty pockets, squeezing the last glow from evening. The nation teeters on spindly hind legs. I almost lose it in the Bureau of Frustration. Baz and I swap jail stories at Howell. The pigeon lady quivers under feathers at Union Square. Catherine Bradford paints a pirate ship in my imagination. Another friend had a stroke. The frogs have a motto: born to croak. Scavenger hunt. After the storm, a fresh moon comes rolling back to its old perch over Avenue B, doing the walk of shame after abandoning its post for a week. Unfaithful body slung between clouds, décolleté tempting the gap-toothed skyline. A few windows match evening's mauve empire, soft rubies at home on point. It's okay to retreat to your private reserve and leave me to my privations. We all need to lose ourselves in the universe. In the hollow face of January's shadow, sycamores sport white dinner jackets, serving snow with their limbs akimbo. Space bar. Once I caught the tail end of a gone scene and held on like a true wag, burnt nights on top of a hot fiddler, hijacking crude glory in crack-tiled hallways where smoked angels fucked amid echoes of Lord Buckley. You were a ladder of fires, a convoy of convocations, a sigh inside a silo. Now rusty wind rustles wispy hair, the white caps of memory plays, the fallen clutch at our cuffs, sunflowers in a vase start to curl. Just for a bit, let's skip that part where we behold what the bells told. Changing station. This is kind of like in February with Ukraine, God bless them. Changing station. Agony, the inevitability of our demise. We were spinning sugar when the giant crutch fell short, the clocks running for their lives, the city humming like a freezer, a black caboose on ice. You were making mushroom ragu. I was admiring your industry, reading the Metropolitan section. When the denouement comes, look for me in the cockpit, handing out straws to clutch at as we veer into a viral spiral. The Empire State Building's opal spire cuts into night. That's kind of how I am now, a lightsaber out for hire. Sexistentialism. Daylilies rave, brief candles on a cake. June was a blip, a blurred face stealing past strobing slats. A few words left like ants on our picnic blanket. Feeding the blaze between your legs, I strode into the winter circle like the square root of a lost division, a witch burning sentences at the stake. I'm yours, Starfleece. You flay me. Venus, hot-wired and gasping. The mattress bucks, doubling as a prow, rejoicing in juice, salting light, blotting time with a word countess. My life, a mandala of thirsty glasses. So I'm going to read two more little ones. Secrets I told my apologist. Mark maker, sharpen your point. Connect eye to hand action. Breathe the reflection. Focus on impact. Remember mother, her white jewel box, red velvet lined, filled with aspiration and content. Sparks she wore that caught fire are in these leaves and share this bark. So actually I lied. I'm going to read two more. This one's really short. Truth is beauty. It's called Grand Prix. Truth is booty and booty truth. That's all ye need know, or my name's not Pinocchio. All right, I will end there. Thank you very much, Vyt and everyone. Thank you, Joe. You were great.
Thank you, Jeff. That was very well done. And now, as a postlude, it's come back to me. The verse that I kind of blanked out on earlier. It's a translation of mine of a short poem by a nighttime poem by the German Goethe. Calm prevails at the highest levels, down to the least of the lower branches. Birds know how to quit. Don't worry, soon enough, you'll learn to stay put. Thank you all. Thanks to the poets, the readers, and lovers of poetry everywhere. So long and good luck. Any other remarks?
Yeah, man, what was that? Your last poem?
What's that?
Was that your last poem you just read? So long and good luck. The last poem that you wrote?
No, I wrote that many years ago. Ben Sloan, who was here earlier, was probably the one who first published it in a magazine of his called Mothers of Mud.
Vyt, are you going to read a few more?
Well, let's see, maybe something Bill Benton's, even though he urged me not to read anything of his, he wanted me to read my stuff. But
We want to hear your stuff.
Yeah.
Just give us like 10 minutes, please.
We got to use reverse
I don't know
psychology.
any.
No,
I don't know
Pete, we
I
want to
don't
hear
know
Bill's stuff.
Yeah, Bill's stuff, because I don't know any more of mine by heart. Boy, I gotta put my glasses on for this. So
Say you've got two
marmalade,
more and they'll come to mind.
back to marmalade, Marlar made buns and takeoffs. See what I can find here. Angoisse. Angoisse. She sweeps her hair, which is black, a squall on the tropical sheet. Tonight, let's just go to sleep. Gone. The ripe moments abandon themselves and escape to the next, pale and exhausted. The breast is stone and haunted, heartless as a tooth.
awesome.
La tombeau, Edgar Poe. And it's interesting that Mallarmé eliminated the middle word and called him Edgar Poe because Poe himself disliked his foster father, whose last name was Allen. Anyway, Le Tombeau d'Edgar Poe. Heaven and earth, a bas relief to adorn Poe down here. Placé fut-il. I have the heebie-jeebies. Perhaps you shouldn't eat that banana right now. It's gooing up your lipstick. I was just thinking, since I'm not him, where is that little dog of yours anyway? You have very pretty hair. No manure. It's like your laugh, which is sacrilegious and at the same time innocent. Here, let me tickle you there on the couch. Take off your shoes, my darling. Okay, and since now Kim brought down this book of mine here, without any translations, what poem should I read? How about this one? Some Life in Poetry. I shot a sparrow on a dare. With a flurry it rose, then dropped. I felt nowhere so dead scared ever to touch a BB gun again. Strange all I found and still carry what I remember left me to wonder. The huge outdoor factory clock held out no promise to my view, a clear alarming. War drone right now at noon, where I stood for some time, it was more than human. On second thought, I'd had enough from reading into it more than I should. I sat on a bench with a phantom when it was all I desired, the leaf. Each sunset wore a cliche of colors, but then I met her, who let the sun stun us out of the blue and change the face of each day. Words come, they're not mine, but will show where I've been. And before I knew it, I was dead certain never to go back again, asleep or waking, but for the singing still around. Well, I don't know, maybe I'll read just one more if I can find it. Real fact. No, not the night of the big storm that is bound to come again. The loneliest I've been was driving due west into the slow sunset out of Saint-Sous-Marie. That was the year I lost you. Work sold, stock sold, like a total fiction in my head. I wish I knew more. What's real is the fact. Well, thank you. If you heard that, I'm a lucky guy. Anyone else for contributions?
Does anybody out there want to read one of Vyt's poems? Or will that drive you crazy, Vyt?
Well, then I'll have to pay you if you read them.
Well, actually, we can stop there on that note. It's a beautiful note. Thank you so much, Vyt, for putting this together and bringing us some joy this afternoon and some beauty. And what were you reading from the book that just came out, or is that a different manuscript? It's the book that's just out recently, yeah?
Oh, the stuff I read was all from books. Mine and Bill Benton's.
Well, thank you. Maybe now we'll throw the mics open and let everybody say hello for a minute.
So great to see so many friends.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Great reading.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Putting this on.
Thank
It's
you.
fun.
Great to see you all.
Great to see
Really enjoyed it.
everybody. Don't let you see me.
Yeah,
Haha.
I really
We
needed
did
this
good.
today.
Now walking.
I had nothing else to do except all my other plans, and this worked out.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Hey.
much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Britt.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. To see you,
Look at here,
Peter.
people from Mexico, Baltimore.
Thank you,
Sure.
Jeff.
Jeff, I like the
Thanks, everyone.
Pinocchio poem. The
Come on.
Great
Pinocchio
reading.
poem really rocked.
Thank you, Mark.
Nice to see John.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Oh, ciao.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hi, Charles.
Thank
Thank you.